A warm welcome back to everyone joining us for today's incredibly dramatic story. Folks, there is an old saying, heaven's net is vast. Though the mesh is wide, nothing slips through. After enduring days of torment, Tien finally stood up. Together with Jack, she went straight to the police to expose the heinous crimes of her evil ex-mother-in-law. In just 24 hours, that scheming woman was ensnared by the law. An unprecedentedly swift trial took place. Faced with undeniable evidence, the price Mrs. Tui had to pay was a life sentence behind bars. Yet watching her enemy crumble behind those iron bars, Tien didn't feel a sense of triumph. Instead, a vague, nagging guilt invaded her soul. And right after the trial, where did Jack take her? A chaotic construction site, or a special place hiding secrets from his past? Hold your breath and follow this emotional and surprising journey. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe right now. The story picks up right as Jack and Tien stepped out of police headquarters. In Tien's hand was the denunciation letter stamped with a red seal. Beside her, Jack held her hand tight, his steady gaze seeming to say, "It's all over." Immediately, a task force was formed. Given the severity of the case involving kidnapping, illegal detention, and robbery, the authorities acted with lightning speed. That very night, at a dilapidated boarding house where Mrs. Tui was hiding, she was hurriedly stuffing clothes into a suitcase, planning to flee across the border under the cover of darkness. B.A.M. The rotting wooden door was kicked open. Flashlights beamed straight into the face of the trembling woman. Nguyen Thi Tui, you are under arrest. The cold click of handcuffs echoed dryly. Mrs. Tui screamed, struggled, and cursed Tien, but it was too late. She was dragged away in shock and humiliation. Shortly after, thanks to the ironclad evidence Jack and the private investigator collected from security footage and recordings of ransom calls to the testimonies of accomplices who surrendered, a public trial was held. The atmosphere in the courtroom was heavy as lead. Tien sat in the victim's seat, afraid to look directly at the defendant's dock. There sat Mrs. Tui, the woman who was once her mother-in-law, who used to strut in silk dresses, now wearing black and white stripes, her hair disheveled, looking 10 years older. The presiding judge delivered the verdict clearly. Defendant Nguyen Thi Tui, for a series of particularly serious crimes, with no mitigating circumstances and a stubborn lack of remorse. The court sentences you to life imprisonment. Bang. The gavel of justice struck the desk. The courtroom erupted. Mrs. Tui collapsed to the floor, wailing miserably. Unfair. It's unfair. I don't want to die in prison. Tien, my child, please say a word for me. That resentful cry of "my child" pierced Tien's heart like a needle. Despite the woman's cruelty, seeing an old withered lady being dragged away awakened Tien's compassion. She shook violently, tears streaming down her face. The trial ended. The crowd dispersed. Tien walked out like a soulless body. The bright sun outside couldn't chase away the chill in her heart. Jack helped her to the car. Seeing his wife unusually silent, he gently asked, "What's wrong?" "It's over. Aren't you happy?" Tien looked up at Jack, her eyes rimmed with red. "Jack, was I too cruel? She is old after all. A life sentence means she'll die in there. I just keep hearing her calling my name." Tien's kindness made Jack feel both pity and frustration. He pulled the car over to the side of the road, turning his wife to face him. He gripped her frail shoulders tightly, looking deep into her eyes. Tien, listen to me. You are not cruel. You are doing the right thing. Jack gave her shoulders a gentle squeeze, his voice warm but resolute. This is the price she has to pay. Not because you reported her, but because of her own actions. If she hadn't been caught today, would she have spared you? Would she have left our family alone? Being kind to a villain is being cruel to yourself. You didn't push her into prison. Her own greed and malice are what locked her up. Jack's words were like cool water washing over Tien's withered soul. She buried her head in his shoulder, sobbing to wash away the resentment and the baseless guilt. Jack stroked her hair, letting her cry it out. After a long while, once Tien had calmed down, Jack started the car. Now I'm taking you for some fresh air. Forget all about this. Where are we going? Tien asked. Jack smiled mysteriously. To survey a construction site for a bit, and then I'll take you to a special place. A place only I know about. The car rolled up to the construction site of Jack's company's new project. The roar of drills and bulldozers shattered the gloomy silence left by the trial. The dust, the sun, the wind, the shouting of workers, all created a picture of life that was hustling, real, and full of vitality. Jack wanted to bring Tien here to show her life goes on. The world doesn't end just because an old woman went to jail. Jack put a hard hat on Tien and led her by the hand along the unfinished corridors. He pointed things out, talking passionately about the blueprints and the future of this building. This will be the children's play area, and over there is the green park. Seeing her husband so passionate about his work, Tien felt her heart lighten a little. Jack's stability was the greatest anchor in her life. However, amidst the noise, Tien suddenly felt a wave of dizziness. She stumbled. Jack quickly caught her. Are you tired? I'm fine, it's probably just the sun. Tien forced a smile. But Jack wasn't reassured. He decided to end the survey early. All right, we're done here. Now we're going to the most important place. I've wanted to bring you here for a long time. Jack's gaze suddenly became distant, tinged with sadness, but full of reverence. Jack drove Tien away from the noisy city. The car wound through curving mountain passes, flanked by green pine forests. Sunset began to fall, painting the sky purple. The air became chilly and quiet. Tien looked out the window, a sense of anticipation creeping in. Where are we going? Jack remained silent, offering only a slight smile. We're almost there. Finally, the car stopped in front of a gently sloping hill facing the water. The place was deserted, the grass green and lush, with only the sound of wind whistling through the canopy. In the middle of the hill stood a small, old wooden house carefully tended to. And in front of the house were two graves lying side by side. Jack turned off the engine, turned to Tien and took a deep breath. This is where I come whenever I feel most lost. The place where I lay down my burdens. He held Tien's hand, leading her across the grass. Standing before the two graves, Jack knelt down, his voice choked with emotion. Mom, Dad, I brought her here. This is Tien, my wife. Tien was stunned. She knew Jack's parents had died long ago in a mysterious accident, but he had never brought her here. This was the inviolable sanctuary in his heart. But what made Tien curious wasn't just the graves, but a strange man standing silently behind the wooden house, watching them this whole time. The man wore a black cloak, his face covered, revealing only cold, sharp eyes. Jack didn't seem to notice the stranger's presence. He was immersed in his emotions, but Tien saw him clearly. Her heart began to race. Who was that person? Why were they lurking in this private sanctuary? And is this peace merely the calm before a new storm arrives? After the chaos of the trial and the grit of the construction site, Jack didn't take Tien home immediately. He wanted to take her to a special place, a place he called a sanctuary for the soul. The car rolled away from the city center, leaving behind the skyscrapers and the cold prison where the evil mother-in-law was serving her sentence. It was late afternoon. The sunset glowed red, like dying embers on the horizon. Tien sat in the car, her emotions still unsettled. Although her mind knew she did the right thing, her soft heart was still haunted by Mrs. Tui's desperate gaze. Jack seemed to understand. He said nothing, just held her hand tight, driving toward the quiet suburbs. And then the destination appeared. Not a luxurious resort, nor a romantic beach. Before Tien's eyes stood an ancient cathedral, majestic amidst the trees, its bell tower reaching high into the gray sky, as if touching heaven. The evening bell rang out. Bong, bong. Deep and sacred, washing away the dust of the mortal world. Jack turned off the engine, looking at Tien with a rare gentleness. This is where I hide from the world. Whenever work hits a dead end or my heart is in turmoil, I come here to pray to God, to ask Him to show me the way. Jack opened the car door and helped Tien out. The air was cool and crisp. The heavy oak doors of the church slowly creaked open. Inside the sanctuary was a completely different world. Rows of long wooden pews lined up perfectly. Colorful stained glass windows under the weak afternoon sun created mystical streaks of light on the granite floor. The faint, soothing scent of frankincense made Tien's mind suddenly relax. Feeling strangely peaceful, they walked softly, their footsteps echoing in the quiet space. Jack led Tien to the front pew, right before the statue of the suffering Christ. He knelt down, signaling Tien to do the same. Jack clasped his hands and closed his eyes. His deep voice resonated through the empty cathedral. Lord, I thank you. Thank you for hearing my prayers, for bringing her back to me safe and sound. Tien turned to look at Jack, astonished. Jack kept his eyes closed, continuing to speak, as if confiding in the Almighty, but also for Tien to hear. Do you know, Tien, during those 15 days you were missing, when the police gave up, when every lead hit a dead end? I came here. I knelt right in this spot through a night of pouring rain. I cried and begged God. I promised that if He brought you back, I would spend the rest of my life making it up to you, protecting you from all suffering. Every word Jack spoke was like honey poured into her heart, yet it made Tien's tears flow. She never expected this strong, powerful man to have such moments of vulnerability and devotion for her sake. Tien clasped her hands too. She looked up at the statue of Jesus, whispering through her sobs, I thank God for always being by our side and protecting us. Please forgive the mistakes and resentment in my heart. And please protect him. Don't let anyone separate us ever again. The space fell into silence. Only Tien's soft sobs and Jack's deep breathing remained. In that sacred moment, Tien felt the heavy burden of Mrs. Tui and the life sentence lift from her shoulders. She understood that justice had been served, and now she had the right to live happily. Jack turned, wiped her tears, and placed a gentle kiss on her forehead. Or but full of commitment. God has heard us. From now on, only peace. Okay. For Amfrey Kinge, but, ladies and gentlemen, will that prayer be answered forever? Or is this merely the quiet before a much larger storm? Leaving the cathedral, darkness had fully set in. The city lights shimmered, creating a magical atmosphere. Their spirits were lifted. Jack drove Tien to a luxurious French restaurant on the rooftop of a skyscraper. This was a place reserved for the elite, complete with flickering candlelight, fresh roses, and a breathtaking panoramic view of the city at night. Jack pulled out the chair for Tien, acting like a true gentleman. Tonight we celebrate. We celebrate your return. We celebrate justice being served, and we celebrate our future. Jack raised his glass of swirling red wine. Tien smiled, clinking her glass gently against his. The candlelight danced on her face, masking her gaunt features, leaving only her gentle beauty and eyes sparkling with happiness. They enjoyed exquisite dishes, talking about their upcoming plans. Jack spoke of building a new house in the suburbs far away from the drama. Tien spoke of her dream to open a small flower shop. Everything seemed too perfect. Perfect to the point of abnormality. As Tien was cutting her steak, Jack suddenly received a text message. He picked up his phone. The smile on his lips vanished instantly. His brows furrowed. Tien noticed the shift. What's wrong? Honeywork. Jack hurriedly turned off the screen, looking up with a forced smile. It's nothing, babe. Just a spam message. Let's keep eating. However, a woman's intuition told Tien that was no spam message. Jack's eyes became alert. He constantly scanned the restaurant as if searching for someone. The dinner was drawing to a close. Suddenly, a waiter approached their table, holding a bottle of rare vintage wine and a black envelope. Mr. Jack Mom, a guest at the table in that corner over there would like to offer you this bottle. Jack and Tien turned to look where the waiter pointed, but the table was empty. There was no one. Just a half-drunk glass of wine and a cigar still smoldering in the ashtray, the smoke rising and coiling like the shape of a venomous snake. Jack's face darkened. Where is he? Sir, he just left a minute ago. He instructed me to hand this to you personally. The waiter timidly placed the wine and the envelope down. Tien felt a chill run down her spine. Why would someone send a gift so mysteriously? Jack picked up the black envelope. There was no sender's name, only a single line of handwritten text in red ink, resembling the color of blood. God may forgive, but the past does not. Jack tore open the envelope. Inside was a tattered old photograph. When he saw the photo, Jack's face twisted in horror. His hands trembled violently, dropping the photo onto the table. Tien hurriedly picked it up to look. She let out a stifled scream, quickly covering her mouth with her hand. In the photo was the scene of the accident that killed Jack's parents years ago. But the terrifying part was standing amidst the crowd surrounding the crash site was a young man smiling, and that man looked exactly like Jack. What is this? Tien stammered. Jack snatched the photo back, crumpling it in his fist. His breathing was ragged beads of sweat breaking out on his forehead. Go. We have to leave immediately. Jack shot up, grabbing Tien's hand and dragging her away, leaving behind the unfinished dinner and the mysterious bottle of wine. Why was Jack so terrified? Who is the mysterious man who sent this letter? And what does the phrase, "the past does not forgive," mean? Could it be that Jack Tien's perfect husband is also hiding a horrific sin from the past concerning the death of his own parents? It seems the prayer in the cathedral hadn't even been answered before the ghosts of the past came knocking. A romantic dinner has transformed into a desperate escape from an invisible terror. Can God above protect them from the demons of the real world? Who is the man in the photo who looks exactly like Jack, a twin brother, or a dark alter ego of Jack himself? And what is the connection between the mysterious figure at the restaurant and the stranger hiding behind the graves in the previous episode? An earth-shattering secret about Jack's identity is about to be exposed. Tien will be forced to face the reality that her husband is not the simple man she thought he was. All will be unveiled in the next episode. The cursed photo and the truth about Jack's twin brother. Leave a comment below with your guess. Who is the mysterious man? Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss these breathtaking developments. Goodbye, and see you next time.